Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charny, James, the Fattman Stevens. Hello. Rob, the old guy.
You're listening to the Rob Charny Show.
That's me. I'm here.
And this week's special guest star, Jocelyn.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
So we're going to do things a little different. Instead of bringing out the dead, we're going to do one thing is celebrate July 4th by giving a shout out to everybody's favorite guest star, Jocelyn, who's also a veteran.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. It's America's birthday.
And I saw a movie today that I think everybody should see. It's called Sound of Freedom with Jim Caviezel. It's about child sex trafficking. I'm not going to say anything else about it besides the fact I think it's an outstanding movie. And it legitimately should be seen by a lot of people, in my opinion. Apparently it was made 5 years ago, just got released. And they have something called Pay It Forward from angel.com. If you don't have enough money, people can pay for your ticket, and you can actually redeem a ticket through this website. I legitimately think this is something that needs to be stopped. As a father and a friend of many people who have kids, this thing called child sex trafficking just needs to end. By force, if necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not going to argue with that.
And we're going to bring out the dead. My condolences to...
Not a great segue.
No. It's...
So okay. We go from... I'm sorry.
Well, hey.
It's kind of like, maybe it could have been the other way around.
Then let's do this. How about Rob has something to say?
Oh, no, you talking about our ad?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you want to support the MadTrio podcast? Go to patreon.com, the MadTrio, and do not forget to give us 5 stars. This is a script written by John. 5 stars on your platform of choice for listening to podcasts.
It was written by me, mispronounced by the old guy.
Well,
so
This is a rare thing.
His typing's blurry.
So this is the segment we call Bringing Out the Dead, to celebrate those who've passed, the people we love, etc. And a heartfelt condolences to Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro's grandson dies at 19. Leonardo De Niro Rodriguez died. Darren Drozdoff, former WWE wrestler who was paralyzed in 99 at ring accident, died at 54. Alan Arkin, Oscar winner for Little Miss Sunshine, dies at 89. And 100-pound sister star Tammy Slayton Morin's husband and best friend, Caleb Willingham.
1,000 pound.
Yeah, 1,000 pounds. I'm sorry.
Not 100. No, let's get it right.
Every time I read that, I trip over it because there's got to be an extra zero. So mentally, I have a hard time realizing there's 2 people who can add up to that much.
Yeah. That's like a couple big shows put together.
True, but much shorter.
True.
So who wants to go first?
I mean, on this day in 1971, a very influential music artist passed away.
I could do. Okay, who is it?
Jim Morrison died today, 1971.
I was just about to say that, actually. Wow.
Right?
Was it what they call him, the Rat King? Something like that. It's amazing how long evergreen the Doors music is. Even today, it's still known worldwide. That's amazing. Because
I listened to the Pandora channel all day. It was phenomenal.
As somebody who collects old records, the amount of bands I've never heard of going through stacks through thrift stores amazes me, and how very few bands are evergreen. It's just outstanding to me.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of older stuff, so all of it's kind of that way for me. I mean, I really don't listen to the new crap, like new country, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I realized a while ago I've aged out of new music. It's not a bad thing. It just there's nothing new that just really intrigues me. Like I discovered hilariously, I knew about this guy, but I never listened to him, called Percy Faith, and it's just an amazing instrumentalist. This double album I purchased recently from the 70s, I believe, 68, 70. Yeah, I've aged out of new music. Like I don't get Taylor Swift to save my life. She must be good. She's putting a lot of butts in seats, and that's what it's about. I just don't get her. Or Katy Perry, for that matter. If somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to give you free tickets to Katy Perry," I was going to ask, does it come with anything else? Beer, free drink tickets?
Well, that's the beauty of music, though. Everybody can have a choice and a flavor and something they like, they don't like, and then music tastes also change.
Oh, 100%.
Throughout times. So, I mean, because I can guarantee you, in 1971, Jim Morrison's passing was sad, but I didn't hang out a flag, and just being honest, it was, at that time. And then I grew to appreciate him a little bit more, and then it waned again. And so it goes back and forth.
I guess to quote an Instagram page that I thought really fit, it says, "Music is personal, music is universal, music is soul," which I agree, because it's definitely personal, and it's amazing. You can have multiple people from around the world. Half of them don't speak English, and they all love the same band. I think it's amazing.
Well, I guess if you don't have to speak the language to enjoy the music, surprisingly enough.
True.
Yeah, I like.
There's been some shows I've watched that have like. One of the more recent ones is Warrior on HBO, and that one has some stuff from like China, of like some of the rap music and stuff, and some of it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, I
did have a French guy introduce me to French rap, and that stuff's actually pretty cool sounding.
No.
I like the original language version of 99 Luftballons more than I like the English translation.
I like a lot of Spanish music. Like some of it, depending on some of it's got some great beats and sounds, and so I mean, we can all appreciate a lot of different sound and music.
Do you know what I like? Do you know what I like listening to in Spanish is soccer. The announcers in soccer are unparalleled. The amount of excitement when somebody gets a goal, they're like, "Goal!" and it goes on for like 5 minutes. English announcers need to actually learn from Spanish announcers how exciting the game is. Because if you listen to like the NFL, you'll fall asleep listening to it.
I've never understood baseball over the radio or football over the radio.
Oh, that I get.
Soccer, I got some guys really upset at me because I was asking them about it because they were out there watching it. And other than, the amount of stamina it takes for these soccer players to keep running up and down the field for hours, because they literally do it for hours. It's a boring game. Yeah, so I don't know.
Everybody
watching this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there's so many different sports too that people like. I mean,
I've watched hours. I've watched hours of cricket, and I always thought cricket's like I always thought, cricket's a dull game. It's like now I get why people enjoy cricket, though. I get it.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, all of that's rugby's really something to watch. Some of these games. I mean, I'll randomly going through the sports channels and we'll just come across a game and kind of watch it and try to figure out. I don't really know all the rules and nuances about some of the different things that are out there, but it's fun to watch.
So, did you guys hear that about 90% of California's cannabis farms are being affected by a severe pathogen that basically goes in and destroys the THC levels, and it drops it down, and it basically affects the hop latent viroid. I don't know what the hell all that crap is, but it's some scientific bullshit that equals out to dropping in the THC levels, which is decreasing the value of them.
So
I
pretty
didn't hear about this one.
so pretty much
it's bringing pot back to what it like in the
1972.
60s and 70s, huh?
Yeah. But guess what these scientists have found about 2 weeks ago?
Uh-oh.
They found a plant that seems to fight that disease.
Oh.
They found a purple plant. So I'm like, are we going back to purple kush? is this what we're doing? But anyway, so they did find a plant that is of a purple color that has the genetics to fight it. It's really interesting.
Now, this is a purple pot plant.
Yeah. So
Okay, all right. Just not some random purple plant. It's,
No, it's
got it. All right.
It's more marijuana.
Okay.
It's the names of them are the Granddaddy Purple, the Mendocino Purps, and Purple Haze are the strains of this plant that are holding up against this. Basically, I don't know if it's a virus or whatever they're calling it, but yeah, it's interesting to me how scientific these potheads have become. Really interesting.
I disagree. If anybody listened to Dennis Leary about why he stopped smoking weed, it wasn't because he wanted to stop smoking weed. He was tired of building shit. Every stoner I've ever met was annoyingly intelligent about one thing, and that was about marijuana.
Well, yeah, they are creative at building things and stuff like that, but it's just amazing to me the amount of science that they put into this.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite thing about marijuana, though, is whoever names it apparently also names dogs in the Westminster Abbey Dog Show, because they all have the same names.
Yeah, they do. They're pretty interesting names.
Well, I assume somebody owns the copyright to Purple Haze. They're going to get upset about this.
Probably.
They
Like
probably
the Jimi Hendrix family.
They probably don't really care because they've been doing
Not
stuff
enough
like
money to make off of that plant.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting question. It probably depends on what medium they do it. Like, for example, if there was this is a guess, but if there was a spot on like the radio, check out Purple Haze, that they may get in trouble because it's entertainment medium, versus if it's a plant and they don't advertise it, they probably won't get in trouble. But if the family owns the copyrights, I guarantee they could push that.
Yeah.
Especially if they try to trademark it.
Where my mind goes with this stuff, right into business. It's like, somebody's going to sue off of that one.
Well, it's because some of these people, like Marvin Gaye, his estate sued Ed Sheeran because one of his songs sound annoyingly similar, like very similar, and just got
they lost.
He lost. So, but it's like anytime you share the same notes, like Tom Petty and Robin Thicke, those is the Tom Petty's estate and Robin Thicke got in a fight. It's just, I don't know, it's just amazing, like how similar
Robin
names.
Thicke lost that one.
No, yeah, he did, but
yeah. So I mean, it's interesting.
He lost
because
that
I've said throughout all the years in having spent a fair amount of time playing music, I always said that all the notes that have ever been played, and almost every combination that you could possibly come up with has always been played. So it's a matter of how you put it all together. And I think in the Ed Sheeran case, it was just a beat that they were really going after him about, and it was a little like, seriously? I mean, come on.
It reminded me.
And I think the court agreed with that same sentiment. It was like,
to be honest, it reminded me a lot of the Vanilla Ice and Queen lawsuit. The ding, 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 ding. That's the difference is there, because Ed Sheeran one was almost identical. But it's I don't know what you can do.
So how are you a songwriter these days, or a person trying to put melodies together, whatever it may be? You sit down and you put you put some chords and riffs together and pull out stuff, and then all of a sudden you realize you listen to it back and, oh gosh, that came from that song, this came from that area, that song, those guys did this. All of a sudden you got bits and pieces of everybody's different music piled into this one song. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, if you're a musician, all the musicians I know who are true, like, music geeks, they listen to so many things. They couldn't tell you where they heard this certain sound,
Correct.
this tone, and it could be something from a new artist, an old artist. It's just something they steal. So I think
So you know what's going to happen now? These lawyers are going to get all this AI to go over every song that's out there, and they'll find out ways to bring everything to court, because AI will go through. Okay, that those four chords or those three bars are exactly the same as that song, and this one, whatever it may be. It's going to get ridiculous.
Well,
I have an issue with this.
Finally, Dave Mustaine will get Metallica credits. I kind of think, honestly, it comes down to the songs itself, the actual lyrics, in my opinion. Being a guy who's a massive fan of, like, instrumentals, I just think you're going to have to come down to the lyrics and how they actually work with it. I don't know, in my opinion.
Yeah, what the hell do you know?
Yeah. So here's a listicle. Hopefully you like this one, Melanie. 10 classic sitcoms that couldn't be made today. This is from CBR.com. Number 10, The Jeffersons. I think The Jeffersons could do just well, especially considering Mr. Jefferson called every white man a honky. All in the Family could never be made. That's number 9. There's no chance in hell that could be made today.
No.
If you guys haven't seen it, actually watch it and look at the message of the show. It's really well done. Three's Company.
Two women and a man, and that was the controversy then, all living in the same apartment.
But Mr.
So when
Roper,
Three's Company came out, it was very controversial.
well, what's his name? John Ritter was supposed to be a gay character. That was the shtick. They tell Mr.
Well-
Roper that Jack is gay to get his approval.
Yeah, they told him that, but he wasn't.
Yeah, true.
That,
Bosom, I can't say it. Bosom buddies.
boozum.
I think depending on how they did that, they could be made, but I don't think how they played it off, it could have been. Different Strokes. I have no clue. I don't remember that show.
So that was the one with I forgot his name.
Gary Coleman, Todd Bridges.
Yeah, Gary Coleman, right? So it was two black kids with a white guy as stepfather, type of thing, and how it was being raised. I don't know if it'd be appropriate today or not.
That show, but yeah, I don't know. That'd be probably not.
I don't know. Hard to tell.
Married with Children. I love the show today. I think it could be made, but maybe it's because I'm such a fan of
not
it.
with the sexism in there.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, I don't know. It may sound like it, but Peg always had the upper hand in this whole thing. So.
But Marcy never did.
Yeah. No.
The amount of flat-chested jokes they did to the woman who played Marcy was almost every episode. I Dream of Jeannie. I don't think anybody would want to watch this version, this TV show, if they remade it.
Why not?
It's rather boring in today's TV shows.
I always liked I Dream of Jeannie better than Bewitched, but that's just
Oh, I'd like Bewitched better, personally. Here's one I don't understand because I've never seen it. How I Met Your Mother. I've never seen it.
I don't
I
remember.
tried to watch it. I wasn't that into it.
I've seen bits and pieces, but yeah, I never really got into it.
The Office, which I think is stupid.
It's awesome.
I can't stand it.
So one of the things that when The Office first came out, I was managing I don't want to get into details, but there were a number of offices involved with it. And it was going around on tape. Everybody was handing the tapes around going, you got to watch it. It's just like our office. And that's what you would hear all the time. People that worked in offices, it was just, there was always somebody or something or whatever it may have been that they were experiencing in real life. And so a lot of people really enjoyed it.
The only thing close to that for me was Dilbert. Like, Dilbert cartoons are so close to corporate, it was almost scary.
I've never worked in an office or corporate, so I can never relate to either show, either part of the show. It's just kind of me to me. That's
And
where The Office was me.
and the number one show that couldn't be made today, according to this list, was Seinfeld from 1989 to 1998.
Hey,
Oh, with Seinfeld.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with Seinfeld,
No,
but you'd never find a show that was that good anymore.
no.
That's like Friends. Like there'll never be another Friends. There's a reason it's on every night.
So here's what this article says. Like the time Jerry and his friends obsessed over whether a woman's breasts were real, then sent Elaine, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, into the sauna to get a better look. Couple that with how creepy Jerry was sometimes, stalk women to get their contact information to date them, or the time he drugged a girlfriend to play with her toy collection. And it's a nightmare. There are also numerous instances of racism, like Pakistani business owners Jerry got deported. I don't remember that episode. And after ruining the man's restaurant, or the time Kramer stomped on the Puerto Rican flag. I don't recommend doing that next to a Puerto Rican, but I don't know how that's going to piss off people on TV show.
Well, that actor got in a lot of trouble for his mouth too. So
Yeah, he canceled himself before that was a thing.
yeah.
Amazing
Yeah,
what happens when you say one word in front of the crowd the word is against.
He wasn't very smart in that one, but our sensitivities are completely different now than when those shows first started. We don't seem to have an ability to laugh at ourselves, and understand the humor and things. Everybody's so sensitive and so touchy, and you can't say this, you can't do that. And it just, after a while, I just give up.
I saw this article that somebody wrote. I didn't really read it. I didn't bother with it just because it was just stupid to me. But you're definitely right on there, Rob, because the point of the article was why the episode of the Soup Nazi of Seinfeld could not be made today.
Right. I read that article. You're right.
And I looked at it and I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time on it because that was like one of their most iconic episodes. There are still people to this day that do they'll do different things like instead of like no soup for you, but something relative to the thing, but mocking the soup Nazi. So yeah, it's just like things like that. It's like that was funny back then. And if
It's
I watch
still
it
funny.
now, I'd still laugh.
It's still funny. Yeah, I know.
It's like just the culture we're in just won't accept that.
So do you know what I'd love to see? And you'd only be able to do this in like HBO. I want to see an actual show. It's either about the real way guys talk to, or the real way guys talk in the military. Because you would never be able to do that in real life because the amount of stuff you'd end up getting canceled for from the people I know.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
There's one of all the shows that I have ever seen, because I've always, obviously, I watch a lot of military shows. Has anyone seen, what is it called? It's about the March to Baghdad with 1st Recon Battalion.
Oh.
I
haven't watched it, but I saw the
It's one of the
show.
HBO miniseries, like the Band of Brothers, the Pacific.
Ooh, I don't know about this.
I think it's actually in my list to watch, but can't think of it around time.
What is it?
It's called Kill.
Yeah. Okay. I've heard of it, but I forgot.
Watch that. That is exactly what military guys talk about when they're alone driving through a Humvee, because it's rude, crude, grotesque. Sometimes you'll just be like, did he really just wow, we're actually talking about it. Okay. Like, yeah, that's the closest I've ever seen.
Because I know, like, when James and I used to hang out more often, we'd be having conversations in public. I know there are a number of people that were aghast at some of the shit we would say to each other. Mainly at me for calling him a...
One of my favorite moments was I was with a group of friends. And I've known these friends for a long time, but in the midst of these friends, I also had a friend who was a nurse. And I've spent quite a bit of time off and on in different hospitals for different things, and we just started making these jokes about different things that you encounter in the hospital, and everyone was just getting mortified. Because, I mean, it's like, it's disgusting things, but everybody has these issues at some point in their life, and we were just making jokes and just laughing, and everyone else around us was just mortified. It's about the situations that you're in and the things that you go through, that either you get a sense of humor or you become a prude. So most people go with a sense of humor, but that's what I find with military guys as well. Is, you know, you guys go through a lot of hard things, and so you joke about things more crudely than most other people because it's funny and it brings a lightness to whatever situation you're in.
Yeah, it'll get you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you get a sense of humor, or you just become a jackass.
A dark sense of humor is it's a mental defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And it's also hilarious. But I love dark humor.
Oh, then let me give you my login for Vet TV. Good luck, though.
James, I think I've told this story before in a number of movies James and I have seen over the years together. Most of the time, all the violent movies where people are aghast, him and I are laughing, usually followed by people looking at us going, they're laughing at that?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I was busted up laughing in Glorious Bastards when they were unloading into Hitler's face, and then they go and reload and then do it again. that was part of one of the best parts. It's like it was just dead silent as they're reloading to shoot him again. So,
I just wanted to make sure.
it was hilarious.
I've got to watch that movie again. It's been too long. So I've got another list, and this is one we may have done. I don't remember. It's 9 common American products that seems bizarre to people from other countries. And some of these
Everybody's
I agree
stealing my shtick.
I am.
What is with this? Good grief! All right,
He couldn't find actual stories.
I guess not.
No, it's a slow news day. This is something that's uniquely American and utterly disgusting, in my opinion. Spray cheese.
Oh,
We did this one.
Aerosol cheese?
Yeah.
I can't stand this.
What's that?
Like-
Velveeta in a can or something?
It says
basically.
easy cheese.
Yeah.
Yellow school buses are uniquely American. I didn't know that.
The color? Or
The color. While school buses exist outside the United States, nowhere else they are bright yellow. School bus glossy yellow is a color that was specifically formulated in 1939 for use on North American school buses, originally called National School Bus Chrome. The shade was designed to attract attention.
I guess the rest of the world doesn't care about their kids.
No, and they should. This one's funny.
Joke. It's a joke. I can hear the comments already.
You'd be hard pressed to find garbage disposals outside of the United States, and apparently some states. New York City apparently doesn't have garbage disposals because there's a video of AOC worried about the garbage disposal in her condo/apartment in Washington D.C. It's rather hilarious.
Well, a lot of countries, they do composting and other things that take care of it.
Let's see. The Britons understand this one. While most Americans can't imagine their life without air conditioning, people from outside the countries complain about freezing temperatures while they visit. Except last year for Great Britain.
I don't know what they're talking about, man. Britain gets damn hot. Yeah, it's not hot very long, but it can start sweltering in there. And they're, with so-called climate change, they're experiencing some heat waves going on. And from what I'm reading, if you want to be an air conditioner salesman, go to Europe, go to Britain and other places, because they're buying air conditioning units as fast as they can get them.
Sorry, Great Britain, you missed out on Freon, the greatest air conditioner. Not really good for our environment, but would freeze you solid. Grape-flavored anything is exclusively American treat.
But
And
they don't I bet there's grape flavored stuff in Italy.
And grape, in fact, grape artificial flavoring used to be found in Germany and Australia, but it was being marketed as orange blossom essence, according to PRI.
Wait, what? How is
blossom
grape flavored orange blossom?
And that's what it says. Argue with the article.
You're the one reading it.
I mean, these Australian people are upside down.
Red Solo cups are an iconic American symbol.
Well, yeah, because we made them.
I don't know. I thought that was because Americans don't like doing dishes. If you have 30 people over, it's easier just to throw them away.
True.
The people or the cups?
Both. Let's start all over again. I don't like you guys. Out of here. Next.
Wait, because at some point the cops are going to be called, so just kick them out before, Coffee culture in America is rooted in grab and go philosophy.
That's true. That is true.
Because if I'm drinking coffee, I'm generally going somewhere. Or just trying to wake up and not being an asshole.
Yep.
Let's see. In other countries, birds and bugs can fly willy-nilly into open windows because they don't use screens.
Yeah, well, they don't live in the deep south in the United States.
Or in Southern California when it's the June bug season.
Well,
yeah. If anybody wants to see bugs, they complain about Australia. They have bugs in Georgia that'll drain you dry. Holy shit! It's like, what is that? No, that's not a mosquito. Anybody got a?
I
shotgun?
love I love all these remodeling shows or building shows, whatever. The big fad seems to be these great big bifold window doors or multiple fold doors. And they open it up, bring the outside in. All I can keep thinking about is there's no screens on it. How long do you think those doors are going to be open?
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, look at this. Yeah, it's. You know what's going to happen next is then they're going to turn it into a terrarium because they're going to add like a sunroom right on top of the. Yeah. Well, white bread is also known as American white bread around the world, and if you know the history of it, was also responsible for helping a generation stay healthy.
Wonder Bread.
Yeah, you talking about Wonder Bread?
I am.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons it's around.
Get those vitamins to the kids,
100%. There was and my memory's a little bit faulty on this. It was a government thing trying to figure out how do they get more vitamins, or vitamins as some people say it, into more circulation and help people get healthier. And that was the end of the list.
Yeah, hey. I've got a list, but I'm not going to read it right now because they're back-to-back lists. They're not good.
Yeah, back-to-back lists. So
I have another one.
No.
We're going to move on for a second. So, you know that they found microbes on Mars, right?
Yes.
And so, did you know
Uranus.
that we have probably obliterated those microbes?
Well, I mean, because we contaminated Mars already.
Yes, because we're already killing life on Mars at a vast scale.
Yeah,
so,
just by launching the spacecraft.
Question,
in one of the Viking experiments, they went up and they were adding water to the soil samples. Well, that water contaminated the soil and has potentially overwhelmed those microbes and killed them.
Yeah.
Oops.
So was it?
Don't have to worry about Martians anymore.
Did they find it in one spot, or just was it not enough whatever to have those microbes be more around more?
They're not sure. They just found that they're not finding them, and they believe it's because they introduced water into the soil, and whatever was in the water has overwhelmed those microbes and killed them.
So the robot urinated and just killed everything.
Yeah,
basically
in that one little location.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they were messing around, and yeah, they might have killed it. They might have killed it.
Well, talk about messing around. Check this out. Today's show is brought to you by Audacity, the unforgettable party game for mischievous people. The game where dignity is overrated. Make sure you go to oddassity.com or selected stores. Make sure you use MadTrio, all caps, all one word, for 10% off your final order. Make sure you tell Miss Audacity herself that the MadTrio sent you. Do you want to keep up to date with the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Make sure you go to themadtrio.com or check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
So, Rob, you might have heard of this guy, Donald Santini. Now, he was on, just to refresh your memory, I know you're getting older. He was.
Hey, James.
Hey, you're stealing my shtick.
Boy, I'll tell you, you guys. Go ahead.
So he appeared on America's Most Wanted 3 times.
Okay.
Donald Santini. He was charged with the murder of a woman by the name of Cynthia Wood back in 1984 in Florida. So after 4 decades of being on the run, he's finally been caught. He was found in San Diego. Now, the interesting thing is that he was working as the president of a water board in Campo.
Yeah, I read about this.
Yeah, so he was literally like, just out in the open.
He wasn't hiding.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's had 13 different aliases. So
Yeah.
he probably thought this one was doing well. I mean, 40 years on the run, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, he did great. If you're into that kind of thing, good job.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. But yeah, he's finally been caught and is being charged. There is no statute of limitations on murder, sir.
No, a little bit like Whitey Bulger, if you remember that one.
Yeah.
Right?
How long?
Gosh.
30 years?
Yeah, over 30 years.
Yeah, well over 30 years. I don't think it was 40, but it might have been close to that.
And he was hiding from the mob as well as law enforcement. So he did really good. Think about it that
reminds me of an old joke about LAPD, how they couldn't convict John Wilkes Booth if they were in the box with Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's whatever. The whole thing is, though. I mean, he knew his life was done.
Yeah. Because
they're still doing an investigation of how he actually got into Gen Pop. It's like
you got to admit, he's got to be a celebrity, because that takes balls. Yes, I killed somebody, and here's my name, and living. That is pretty amazing.
The mob got him. They got him in the end. You're not going to get away from the mob.
No,
it's not going to happen. If they want you dead, you're going to, especially if you're in prison, for crying out.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in prison, they know where you are.
You kind of. That's a good idea, anyway.
That depends if you're in what will they call it? Will they put all the pedophilia people in special custody when you're your own yard? Harder to get to people that way.
Custody is a different thing.
Well, no, there's a so I was reading something a while ago.
You didn't get it.
No, I didn't. Sorry. Hey, I'm tired, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Leave Brittany alone.
Went to the movies today. He went swimming. He sat in the spa. He's tired.
Yeah, this is more exercise than I've gotten in a while. Here's
all right. I've got one for you.
Whitey Bulger was only on the run for 16 years. So.
Oh, is that all it was?
Yeah, all 16 years on the run. So.
Well, I bet it felt longer. He's an older guy too, so.
Yeah.
He was older. So, when you're older, it's a lot tougher. So you ever think about phrases, things we say almost every day we use a certain phrase, and some of the surprisingly dark origins of some of these phrases.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah.
The meaning of the word is. Yeah.
Okay.
God, there's nothing worse than having to follow up Clinton. You know, it's like,
Anyways, terms that we use.
certain phrases that we use. Things like, I have a deadline to meet.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a phrase. So do we know, probably one of the most popular phrases, and it's, first, you got a deadline. We think it's, times we got to get, a drop dead date time. That's another one that I'll talk about too. But the deadline was actually a line drawn in Civil War prisons. If a prisoner escaped and crossed the line, he'd be killed. So, meet a deadline. That's where it came from. So literally you cross that line, you're going to die. And, die hard. There's another term that's used all the time. There's a real die hard for that. But it was really attributed to those who were struggled while they were being hung. So it was always, and it's attributed to a British officer named William Ingalls. Supposedly he told his men, stand your ground and die hard. So that's where that one came from, all right?
And that's why I'd never be in the military, because I'd say no.
Yeah. Well, all right. So then, you go, I want to wash my hands of this situation. And So, maybe some of the kids out there probably think it has something to do with the pandemic and all that. And it goes back longer than that. Literally, it's a term that was brought on by Pontius Pilate, that when he condemned Jesus Christ to die on the cross. So that's how far back that one goes. Bite the bullet. It's a difficult situation. I've got to make a decision. I got to bite the bullet to do this type of thing. And it is literally a term out of without doing a surgery, without any kind of anesthesia of any kind. The whole idea is you'd bite down the bullet so that the pain wasn't so great, you would crack your teeth. So it's literally biting a bullet. Well, here's one that, I used to hear more often than we do now, but it was running amok. Guys heard that term? Right?
I have.
Running amok. So the word amok comes from the Amako people. They were from the Malaysia warriors who would go on killing sprees for unknown reasons, and they're believed to be some sort of mental condition affecting those people. So James Cook actually wrote about it in 1772. To run amok is to sally forth from the house, kill the persons or persons supposed to have injured the amuks, and have another person attempt to impede his passage. So it goes back. John, you're busting a gut over there. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just struck me funny. I don't know why.
See?
I've got a dark sense of humor.
Well, how about God bless you? You probably think that's been around forever, right? But Jesus came out and said, God bless you. Well, after sneezing. How's that? Now, the origins of that was actually traced back to the Black Plague. It was used to express the desire for your soul to remain in your body because the Black Death could take it.
Oh, yeah!
All right. Soul down the river. Now, this one's not a great one. This one simply, it was sold down the river, No, that was literally what we did to slaves. They were sold or went down the Mississippi River to work on plantations in the South, so that's not good. A term I'll never use again. Crocodile tears.
You are fake news.
Do you know what that means? That's usually a fake emotional response, basically. Oh, you're crying me crocodile tears, So, because they used to believe the crocodiles would cry when they killed their prey. Not the case. They never did that. But they don't do that. How about mad as a hatter?
Oh, that one I do know.
Yeah. You study history and all that. That has to be, the guys, they're making hats, and they used mercury to form the hats. So what were they doing? They were ingesting the mercury and throughout the years of making hats, and they were slowly going crazy. This is a good one. How about pulling my leg? You're pulling my leg. All right. That's someone's trying to fool you in some way, right? Playing around in a way. It's a more popular expression in the UK, and it actually is traced back to Victorian London. And dragging a person by the leg was a common way for robbers to go get their hands on one's possessions. So they would grab you by the legs, start pulling you, shake out your coin out of your pocket, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
To wreak havoc. No guesses?
Have to do with the group
The
of
origin
people
of the
called
phrase
Havoc.
actually, yeah, well, it's to wreak havoc is control the destruction or what might come with it, and to basically go crazy. The origin of the phrase it was used on the battlefield to give soldiers permission to do whatever they wanted, including committing slaughter.
Huh.
So that's what to wreak havoc was.
So they would actually shout out "wreak havoc"?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Does it say like what time period that was?
Yeah, 1300s.
Interesting.
Yeah. The old one. How about a snafu? I wondered if Josh was going to laugh at that one. Yeah. So.
Oh, yes, I do know that one.
It's used a lot, right? For something's really screwed up. Well, snafu comes to World War II military acronym for SNAFU, which stands for Situation Normal All Fucked Up, which is the context for war. It means exactly that. So that's what a snafu is. I've got more. Should I save more for another day?
Yes, because I have I have a follow-up for a story.
All right, let's go with John.
So, do you remember the lady we talked about that had untreated TB and went around her daily life infecting other people?
I mean, Typhoid Mary,
Yeah.
or the most recent one.
I called her
Sally.
Yeah, I called her QE too.
Okay.
And some people were slightly miffed at that. How dare you make fun of the Queen? She's dead. She doesn't care. And I'm American. That's why we threw all that tea in the river. After 23 days in jail, she agreed to take her meds and must open her doors to officials. So she did get caught, got sent to jail for 23 days, and now she has to take meds. Surprisingly, it was only 23 days in jail, considering how dangerous TB
That she could
actually.
have killed people.
Yeah, TB is very dangerous, especially around people who have compromised immune systems. Law enforcement agents took the woman, identified only as VN in court documents, into custody on June 1st. At the point, VN had spent a year and a half ignoring monthly court orders to have her TB case treated or isolated at home to keep from spreading her infection to others in communities. She spent about 3 months on the lam, actively invading law enforcement as they tried to execute a March 2nd, 2023 civil arrest warrant. I actually think 23 days in jail is actually light. So she did get caught. Because in theory, couldn't they charge her with domestic terrorism?
Yeah.
Depending, like, because she went to a casino and gambled, if I remember the story right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needed to actually be locked up and kept locked up.
I don't know. I'm glad she finally decided to, okay, I'll take my meds. Let's see. Until she's required to take her medicine as
She's an
directed.
anti-vaxxer, John.
Definitely.
She's an anti-vaxxer. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, the COVID vaccine was technically experimental. It was the world's largest experiment.
Whatever.
Until then, she is required to take her meds as directed by the health department and must open her doors to health department workers who will come into her house to watch her take her antibiotics and test her. She is also required to open the door to law enforcement and any officials checking on her electric monitoring. VN can only leave the home to go to the doctor, in which case the health department will arrange her transportation. Well, now they have use for all those bunny suits they purchased. This actually shocked me.
So is she on house arrest now?
Yes, she is.
Is that what it is?
She is. So after 23 days in jail,
who's paying for all this?
Oh, the government. We, the people.
So we're paying for her being incarcerated at home, whatever home may be. And
Yes.
we're probably paying for the apartment or whatever it is she's living in.
So
Yeah.
TB treatments can be lengthy, with antibiotic course ranging from 4 to up to 20 months for drug-resistant infections. The potential life-threatening infection is caused by bacterium, something I can't pronounce, which often infects lungs and can spread through the air at close range. So it's like mono. It's about as easy to catch. But nobody's calling TB the kissing disease. I'm glad she's caught. But by the way, the government paid for, what's the difference between the government paying for this and all the COVID vaccines? It's the same basic thing. It's a potential to have a life.
But this is one individual though going around spreading it to everybody, and and she's being not responsible for her health problems that she's spreading on everybody. So it's completely different.
He's patient zero.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad she got caught though. I don't know. I just don't understand why, if you said, oh, you have TB and didn't understand the history of how dangerous the disease is. Is she another history denier, like people saying the Holocaust didn't exist? Is that what this is? Oh, TB's not that dangerous?
Yeah, pretty much.
God damn, there's a lot of dumb folks.
Probably a flat earther too.
Especially the donut earther.
My favorite thing about flat earthers is their website said something around the world. Flat earthers from all around the world can communicate or something like that. I'm like,
that's funny.
It's like, wait a minute.
All around the edge.
There it
That's
is.
what that should have been.
There be dragons. So apparently, or what?
Go ahead.
Oh, so anybody know what swatting is?
Yes.
So swatting, not your children, but swatting is basically where somebody calls the SWAT team or the cops, and SWAT comes to investigate the issues, and people have been injured and killed in this. FBI finally tracks swatting instances as attacks increase nationwide. So now they're going to have a national database of instances. I thought this was already being tracked, considering how dangerous this is. Last month, the Federal Bureau of Investigation created a national online database to finally start coordinating law enforcement reports about swatting attacks nationwide yesterday. Swatting is a form of domestic terrorism that is sometimes deadly and has been more widespread in the U.S., according to a March report from Hal something or other, a computer science professor at University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Let's see. And his report defines swatting as malicious act that involves making a flagrant, I can't speak. I swear I've only had one drink. I'm too drunk.
Between your sidelining along here today and
So,
I'm sorry, John.
No, I've only had one drink too drunk. Caused emergency response teams such as law enforcement, special weapons and tactic teams, or SWAT teams. That is where the root comes from to react forcefully to non-existent public threats. And this has happened to like random people, to celebrities. I swear there's been instances where they knocked on the wrong door, the person defended themselves, and the cops killed them. So to me, this seems like the FBI has dropped the ball, and an agency that consistently does that seems to be consistent on dropping said ball.
Yeah.
I have not only that is that an issue which is more rare than not, but the one that I have the biggest problem with, and I think last year before, we talked about the issue of no-knock warrants.
Oh.
And the problem with that, and also the problem with people being killed by law enforcement because law enforcement can't seem to read the correct address on a building and have broken into the wrong places. And individuals have gone to defend themselves only to be taken down. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, it's the wrong house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand no-knock warrants. That idea is horrible. Also makes me really want to have next house I get, you know, gonna have the address in bright colors and letters. It's like, this is the address, motherfuckers. So I thought that was cool. That leases are being tracked. I actually legitimately thought there was some sort of database where that was being tracked.
Yeah, they watch all kinds of statistics. I'm sure there's tons of different things out there, and that's just one of many.
I don't know. I was just surprised because you keep hearing about, you know, like occasionally, like some gamer did it to another gamer. Like I'm hearing about it more and more. But on the other hand, it could be just like railroad crashes. You never hear about it until there's one, and then you hear about 20 more.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think it's because you actually like looked into it, and now they're just giving you all those stories. They're targeting you, John.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Zuckerberg showing you what he thinks you want to see.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, you know what I want to see? If there anybody's out there controlling the algorithm, what I want to see? Really cheap deals on really hard to find records. That's what I really want. Never mind all this news stories. I want to find like all the fancy Beatle records for like $20 instead of spending $200 on them. I'm cheap.
No. That's not going to happen.
I know the Beatles aren't worth all that money. $20 is about much I'll pay for a Beatles.
Just start talking about buying vinyl records around your phone for the next 20 minutes and then get on Facebook, and that will be all the ads it will show you.
I have never had...
Not even joking. I'm dead serious.
I have never had that happen. Like, and I talked about records and music to everybody I know, and
and I certainly
know
that it's true on anything that you research actually using the web browser on your phone. That may be the case, and or web browser on your desktop or whatever it may be. The cookies follow you wherever you go.
Well, it is true. Facebook has the invisible pixel and etc. that a lot of websites use, and if you're logged into Facebook, I have no doubt they can actually track which directions you go. The only thing I don't know is iPhone, in theory, is apps are more sandboxed, where Android is not necessarily as much. But I also keep all background apps turned off, so it may be the reason why I never get that.
Well, there's all kinds of ways of doing it. It's besides that. It's besides ad blocking and don't accept any cookies. Just don't take them.
But I like cookies. They're delicious.
Well, I know,
especially with ice cream.
Don't have any cookies.
Damn. So something is interesting as we close up. I think is interesting if you pay attention to Reddit or Twitter. They have basically gotten rid of all third-party apps. One is they're actually trying to make money, and what was it for Reddit? It was going to cost one developer $20 million a year just to have his third-party app through fees. Twitter was similar. And then with Twitter, they basically said, oh, if you're a registered user and you have that blue check mark, you can only look at 6,000 posts a day. And part of it is they're trying to stop scrapers and people who are helping making AI from basically using the content for free. So there's somebody was saying that these AI developers are scraping Reddit, trying to get as much information from the pipeline so they can help design a better artificial intelligence. So this is going to be the new thing you're going to see is on social media is the crackdown.
I wonder how that, it'll be interesting in the next 10 years to see exactly where social media is going to be going. Because there's a lot of different platforms coming out now. And be interesting to see if we're going to keep just major biggies like Twitter or whatever it may be.
Well, Mastodon is kind of new, decentralized Twitter, etc. I don't know any young people. Damn, I don't believe I'm that old. I don't know any 20-year-olds. I'd love to know what they use, because it used to be, Facebook's for old folks, and that hurt.
That's right.
And then they'd say, oh, all we use is Instagram, and as my friend said, we never actually shared our incriminating photos with everybody.
Generally, the idea is not to.
So, because you look on
life easy.
You look at Instagram, it's hilarious. If you do a deep dive, you see stuff that's I'm pretty sure that's illegal in 12 states.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what they use, because I don't get Twitter. Like, I collate Twitter pretty well, trying to eliminate stuff that I don't want to see or doesn't interest me, and it's still awful.
They're probably using Snapchat.
I forgot about Snapchat.
I don't see it.
Snapchat.
Have any of you used Snapchat? Because I've used it. I still don't understand the point.
I think when it came out a long time ago, I tried it for like a day and then deleted it.
Just everything in pictures, right? Isn't that
But it's also,
but it doesn't save.
right?
and it'll tell you if somebody like takes a screenshot of it.
Yes.
I just don't get it. Snapchat was the one thing that all of a sudden I was the old curmudgeon telling people to get off my lawn, because I was like, I legitimately don't see how this is useful. I'm using social media to remember shit, not forget things. If I wanted to forget where I left something or what I did, I would just wait 15 minutes.
You know, what I used to like, I'm an old guy, so I use Facebook. And it seems to be drifting from it a bit more, is being able to trust things like actual birth dates or people's anniversaries or whatever. And, even coming across friends you haven't heard of from in years or whatever. And it's becoming more and more difficult simply because, one, you can't believe a good portion of it's even there. I mean, I'll be honest, even I don't have my exact birth date on there because I didn't want people to know it. So, so a lot of stuff that's all in our so-called social medias, you have to question.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if most people put their actual birth date on there. Some websites I used to go to said happy 113th birthday type of thing, just because I'll just put 1865, and it never questioned it. That's what always made me laugh when I was a kid, when you had those, how old are you? You have to be this age. And you go 1945. And, do you think,
prove you're over 18. Mm-hmm. Type in a date.
See, when I was a kid, that was easy. I'd be like, oh, I know what an 8-track is. And you'd hear the purple go, you know what?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, oh, I know what a real, and you just start spouting off old shit. And they'd be like, oh, you've got to be that old because you look like you could be that age.
It's going to be the other way around soon. It's going to have to prove that you're under 18. They'll start giving you questions that we won't have a clue what the hell they're talking about.
Well, that's only if you want a job in Hollywood. You're 18? I'm sorry, miss. You can't work in Hollywood.
Yeah, you're too old. You're over the hill.
You definitely can't get a job at Disney.
Yeah.
Can't be a princess.
I don't want to anymore.
Can't be a princess. Josh wouldn't want. What was the question? Jonathan and I were talking the other day, and we got to ask Josh this question. I'll be damn it was a Disney question. Do you remember what it was, Jonathan? I can't say that I remember now.
I don't, but the more I
gotta write it down next time.
The more I read about Disney stuff, like there's been a number of AMAs. I was going through Reddit a couple of days ago, and it's talking about the Disney princesses and princes and all the people. And it's funny, they were saying what the pecking order is between all the face characters. Let's take, if you're a prince or princess, you're above here, and they would sit in different groups, and you're thinking, you all get paid too little to actually give that much of a shit.
Oh, they care.
Isn't that crazy? Well, you got to have something in your life, I guess. You got to be part of Disney hierarchy.
That's your badge of honor. It's like, I was a princess. It's like, yeah, I can tell.
Seriously.
That's funny.
And did we talk about, because we're over time, did we talk about how they're finding bits and pieces of that submarine that exploded?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it a little bit last week.
What was that?
The controller survived.
Yeah, the controller.
Wow.
Yeah, what's it, an Xbox controller or something?
Well, it's funny.
Whatever one they write, it survived. That'd be good advertisement for them.
Well, it's funny.
It's an implosion.
It's funny you say that. After everybody was making fun of that, I remembered something about like 10 years ago. they talked about that the military was looking into using Xbox controllers for certain situations because the hand-eye coordination was more familiar than whatever gizmo gadget they were inventing.
That's fair.
Yeah, probably cheaper too. You just keep replacing those.
I did find out, I was paying a little bit more attention to this after they found it exploded, how it wasn't tested. Like they didn't do a bunch of certifications. And I was thinking, and this was my thought, you go, okay, I want to see the Titanic. Let me see your certifications. Let me see the information. And not seeing any certs wouldn't be the first, like, curious questions. Like, you can't go to, so how deep can this thing go? It can go deep. I
think, it brings up, you need to question, Jonathan and I have talked about this a lot. We question everything, and you need to question things like, all right, you're going to go down to a depth that would crush just about anything. And, you're going to go into this tube and you're going to trust that everything's done right. This thing's kind of an experimental aircraft in the water type of situation. And I was just reading today that one of the ways they were getting away on these the documents that you signed that say, hey, yeah, I know that I have a possibility of dying. I could die. I might die type of situation, waving away your rights. And they were getting away with that partly also because of everybody that was considered a mission specialist. So they were doing all these stupid legal things as well. And it's like, instead of just doing the engineering properly, like we should, let's just go ahead and make everything slimy. And it's like...
That amazed me. I was talking to my cousin about that, and he was mentioning, it was made of carbon fiber and titanium. It's like, wait, what? Carbon fiber doesn't work really well under pressure like that.
Well, apparently it worked like 20 some times when they went down there.
Damn.
So, I mean, really, it depends on how you look at stuff. I mean,
so it's a single.
Now you've got a way of knowing how long. Okay, you can't go beyond 20 dives in this thing. Throw it out next one. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the whole James Cameron thing came out too, where he's talked about how bad he thought that was in the beginning, and there have been a number of other of these explorers that use these submersibles that go on and talked about. We all had questions about this thing and how is it going to work, and is it going to work safely, and
they got their answer, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
So I heard today that apparently their website's still up and running and advertising.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I wonder how many signups are getting now.
I got to say, when Rob says to final out, hopefully a little bit of funny thought is, the question everything is kind of how I grew up. By the way, teachers hate you when you take that advice, when you question everything. Well, why do I have to do this? Do I have to? I don't think, they don't like that. And I remember as a kid when I had a high school, when you start graduating high school, all the recruiters start talking to you. And I said, yeah, I don't think I would be good. It's like, why is that? I have a tendency to ask questions about why you want me to go over, said Hill. And I don't know. I never, besides the fact I'm asthmatic, that was the other thing. It's like, oh, I'm asthmatic too. It's like, well, we definitely don't want you. So
you just needed to be in my day, Jonathan. We took everything. One arm, 3 toes, didn't matter. We just took everything.
Well, that's true, but back in your day, they just... God, you really are old. I've seen Vietnam on TV.
Dude, you got through elementary school? Come on, son, that's good enough.
So, I make fun of friends of mine who are in the military. I do got to say that it's a hell of a choice. Anybody out there who joined the military forces voluntarily, which United States is all volunteer armed services, I want to give a shout out to all of you. Thank you. Now, yeah, true. And Rob's day, yes, he's that old, folks. You were voluntold.
You got that salutation letter, man. It was all over.
He was voluntold. It was congratulations.
Yeah, voluntold, exactly.
Congratulations, Mr. Charny, for signing up for the military. I did what?
Yeah.
Your draft number was picked.
That's right. Salutations. You're to report.
My favorite thing is I caught a video of this the other day was a bingo. It was like, they had a TV where they pick random numbers. Worst game of bingo ever. 5726. Oh my God. Instead of getting a pair of socks.
Yes, it was the one lottery you didn't want to win.
Yeah. Instead of getting a pair of socks, you got sent to Paris Island. So you get a nice view of a swamp.
Well, olden days.
So
wrap this up, Jonathan. Time to say goodbye to our
I was going to
guests.
say, so I want to thank on this 4th of July, shout out to all our veterans, like
Happy 4th of
Joshleen and the
July,
our other folks. I want to thank you. And as always, thank you for listening.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.